Welcome to Nationwide. I'm Elizabeth Omori with the news. President Bola Tinubu is to depart Abuja to attend the Saudi Africa and Arab Africa Summits in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The aim of the upcoming Arab African Summit is to introduce a promising partnership with practical solutions to develop Arab-African cooperation and catch up with emerging and influential international powers in the African arena. The summit seeks to identify fields for cooperation, build a common vision for sharing knowledge, experiences, and identify projects and frameworks to improve bilateral and multilateral ties between Arab and African countries. Succor has come to victims of the flood-ravaged Isheri community in Ifo local government area of Ogun State as the federal government commences distribution of relief materials to them. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, who performed the symbolic flag of ceremony, reiterates President Bola Tinubu's determination to ameliorate the plight of citizens. Hakim Jimo reports.
Recent flood that ravaged the Isheri community in Ifo local government area of Ogun State rendered many homeless with 4 lives lost.
We want it to go on record that in Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's time, the flooding that has been threatening us yearly is put to an end.
To cushion the effect of the natural disaster on the people, the federal government commenced distribution of relief materials to the affected residents. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, assures that the federal government will work out solution to the perennial flooding in Isheri community.
What we want to quickly support them to do is to provide livelihood for them. Those who lost their businesses as a result of the flood. Part of these solutions, of course, would include buffer dams, rechanneling of this water, and creating of altogether new channels that can help prevent this kind of flooding.
The minister was also at the Ogun State Government House, where Governor Dapo Abiodun commended the federal government for the various intervention programs in the state.
Again, I want to thank you for mentioning to us the other programs. I'm aware that we have a program that is meant for our poor, our elderly, our vulnerable.
The delegation also embarked on facility tour of Kenta at the Kampala markets at Itoku and Ashiro in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. In Abeokuta, Hakim Jimo, NTA News.
Concerned about the report of Nigeria having the 3rd highest maternal and child mortality rate, the Association of Northern House of Representatives Wives has donated to pregnant women mama kits in Buhari Area Council. Safia Nyoma Uche reports that the event took place at the Palace of Sarkin Buhari, His Highness Musa Ijakoro.
The passion for providing for the less privileged in the society took the Association of Northern House of Representatives Wives to Buhari. This time, they provided mama kits to over 200 pregnant indigent women and carried out free blood pressure tests. The aim is to help reduce the deaths of women and children during pregnancy.
Looking at the indices, Nigeria is the 3rd highest, has the 3rd highest mortality rate. So we felt the need that we need to come and talk to these women, offer them mama packs, because a lot of them, they don't have these packs and they don't go for antenatal due to this.
Just decided to empower at least 210 women, which will give an initiation to the government to come and support.
Sarkin Buhari, His Highness Awal Musa Ijakuru, lauded women's efforts in assisting their husbands.
I want to appreciate Allah for them choosing Buhari to be their center today. If you can see, we have about 200 and something women here. They are here receiving medical outreach.
A neurologist, Mohammed Dogo, called on government and other well-meaning Nigerians to assist in lifting Nigeria from maternal and child mortality.
Any effort that will bring assistance to the pregnant women will help.
Appreciate the Northern Wives Association for their support.
You can see even the food, the package they gave us, at least it will go a long way.
Members of the association say they will take the initiative to their various constituencies in order to enhance coverage. Safia Noma Uchi, NTA News.
Now to education. In a bid to make available more platform for the girl child to be literate, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization with other critical stakeholders have come together to advocate implementable strategies to make education more accessible. Christiana Akmonde reports.
To the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, 60% of 10 million out-of-school children in Nigeria are girls. They have fewer educational opportunities, face considerable health risks due to early marriage and harmful practices. Despite various policies to strengthen and improving access to quality life and well-being, experts say education is a powerful transformation tool for change.
As persons, boys, girls, men, women, teachers, parents, continue to galvanize our efforts to ensure that girls' rights are respected and protected and even fulfilled.
When you educate a girl child, you have solved a lot of societal problems.
I'm happy to know that girls are coming here today to be educated on their rights and to be able to know their full potential.
So as a nation, government, and it's everybody, all hands must be on deck. We have to recognize the innovation, the power, the so much ideas that girls bring to the table.
Part of the laudable national programs supported by UNESCO in Nigeria is the Our Rights, Our Lives, Our Future O3 program that heightened the awareness of the girl-child issues with adoptable approaches for them to thrive academically. In Abuja, Christiana Akmonde, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Team Kwara State has won the President's 2023 Independent State Schools Debate Championship. Olayin Kauji reports that the event was organized by the President's School Debate Nigeria in collaboration with the Universal Basic Education Commission in Abuja.
7 states, Benue, Niger, Katsina, Taraba, Bauchi, Kwara, and Anambra participated in the debate championship to commemorate Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary. After 2 days of proposition and opposition by the state contingents on topics such as beavers, a veritable instrument for Nigeria's democratic and electoral process, Nigeria, not ripe for female political leaders, and the art of debating as a prerequisite for aspirants into national and state houses of assembly, Team Kwara and Team Benue emerged the 2 finalists.
The motion for today's grand finale, framed around the economic survival of our country and well-being of all Nigerians as a whole, which has to do with fuel subsidy removal.
Then came the time for the adjudicators to test the finalists. The subject matter of fuel subsidy removal captured the attention of the audience.
The reason why fuel prices are low is because the government has been absorbing a portion of its cost to maintain affordability for everyone.
With the removal of fuel subsidy, the government will have enough funds and resources to repair the foreign refineries.
At the end of the keenly contested competition, where both teams debated persuasively and argued constructively, Team Kwara defeated Team Benue to emerge winner.
To be confident and assertive. I want to thank God for making me to be the best speaker.
Though we didn't emerge as winners, but I'm sure we will not forget what happened here.
I encourage you all to use your newfound skills, not to only excel in the world of debate, but also to make a positive impact on the world around you.
For the best 3 states, Taraba, Benue, and Kwara states, they will be representing Nigeria at the next international competitions.
We have 2 countries that invited us. The first position team that go to Singapore. The second position team, they are going to Dubai. The third position team, they are going to Indonesia.
The event was also used to present awards to states that are trailblazers in basic education. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
And from education, we now move to governance. With the affirmation of President Bola Tinubu by the Supreme Court as Nigeria's duly elected president, many say it is time for nation building. Aisha Bashir reports that this was the outcome of a press briefing by the All Progressives Congress Advance Group to drum up support for national cohesion in Abuja.
Advancement Group, in solidarity with the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on his confirmation as the duly elected president of the country.
Congratulating President Bola Tinubu for his win, the group says the development lays further credence to the acceptability of its then presidential flag bearer Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the February 25th polls, which they say returned resounding victory to the party.
This is our country, and we do not have any other country apart from Nigeria. The recent bold step taken by Mr. President in giving the youth and women the opportunity to occupy some significant positions in his government harnesses a big stock of political charisma, political experience, and political expertise of the highest order.
Parties, we should come together and support the new President, Commander-in-Chief, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Ahmed Bola Tinubu, for a better leadership.
I know he will repair our Nigeria. He's a good man. It's what we want. I know everybody will be happy.
I employ all our leaders, political leaders all over across the parties. This is a time to come together to be able to develop Nigeria.
The group stressed its determination to ensure inclusively in governance in delivering dividends of democracy. Aisha Bashir, NTA News.
In recent time, political support groups have become one of the noticeable features in the electioneering process, as candidates and political parties leverage their support to canvass votes from the electorate. This development is what Doris Akomwe sought to know its impact in the upcoming off-cycle governorship election.
The process of electing a leader comes with large responsibility, commitment and consultations on the part of the candidates and the parties concerned towards attaining victory. One notable feature is the presence of support groups who come out in their numbers to take up tasks of mobilizing people to buy the ideology of their preferred candidates. These stakeholders say deepens the political process in every electioneering year and portray commitment on the part of the led and their principal.
Have support group for each district. It will bring us together in oneness, in unity, just to attain a positive result. Hoodies, face caps, flags, hand fans, because we came out with all our strength to support.
Some political watchers believe it's a platform to empower the people and give them a sense of belonging irrespective of their age brackets. While it is a gathering to drum support, observers stress the need to monitor activities of some who take advantage of the period for financial gains.
About telling them the process of the campaigns, the process of the elections, how they can be able to avoid electoral malpractices, how they can be able to avoid cancellation of elections. Some of them are basically formed for financial inducement purposes, because I have witnessed so many areas where these groups are being formed by individuals that have these tendencies to take their money back to their communities to do whatever thing they want.
They, however, call for adequate compensation for committed followers who sacrifice their resources and time in achieving results. Inyenegoa, Doris Akomoye, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on NTA, and it's time to head to Lagos, where Adeola is standing by with some reports. Hello, Adeola.
Elizabeth. As the
the federal government continues to come up with various economic policies aimed at doubling the gross domestic product of the country, Lagos State government, in partnership with key players in the organized private sector, is set to showcase the thriving economic-friendly ecosystem in Nigeria at the forthcoming Lord Mayor's Show in London, the United Kingdom. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu disclosed this at the inauguration of the International Financial Center Council, saddled with the responsibility of positioning Lagos as a beacon of financial innovation in Africa. Musa Toliat has the report.
Lagos State boasts of a dynamic business environment with more than 30% contribution to Nigeria's gross domestic product and over 50% of the country's port revenues. The inauguration of the Lagos International Financial Center Council is therefore a deliberate and strategic step towards repositioning Lagos State as a prominent global financial center. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and Aigboje Aig Imokude are joint chairmen of the LIFC Council, with membership drawn from both the State Executive Council and private sector advocacy group.
In terms of target, the target is boundless. It is for the council to go out there, put up, workable documents that will help the private sector. Government are usually at the back end. The private sector are the engines of growth. But let us make the environment conducive so that all of those questions I could say they were asking them, we're ready for it.
The main job of Lagos State and the council is working on the environment, unblocking the red tape, making sure that investors, when they want to come and look at their investments, get into the airport, visa on arrival, and get out of the airport quickly. Those things are going to be where the transformation comes from.
In recognition of its commitment to excellence, Lagos State has been invited as the first African city to join the prestigious Lord Mayor's Show in the United Kingdom on November 11 this year.
The economic benefit of our participation, in my view, is vast. It will extend beyond what we can immediately appreciate. The increased global visibility will attract foreign investment, and it will foster the partnership. It will contribute significantly to the economic growth of our state and, by extension, our country.
The participation at the Lord Mayor's Show will serve as a platform to signal to the world that Lagos, and indeed Nigeria, is open for business. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Ahead of the commencement of a comprehensive repair work on the Third Mainland Bridge on Monday, 6th November, adequate arrangements have been put in place to mitigate the impact of the gridlock and other discomfort anticipated within the 5 weeks the work will last. The Federal Controller of Works, Olukorede Kisha, who revealed this, appealed to road users to adhere strictly to traffic diversions and consider alternative routes. Joel Popola has that report.
There has been a series of palliative repairs on the Third Mainland Bridge to reduce traffic gridlock on this axis. Precisely the last palliative repair on the 22nd of October mainly focused on the bad spot on the Oworonshoki and Adeniji section inbound Lagos Island. But apparently the Third Mainland Bridge needs more than this. To this end, a comprehensive repair is expected to start with effect from Monday, 6th November, and it will span a period of 5 weeks. The Federal Controller of Works, Engineer Olukorede Keisha, says adequate public enlightenment has been done to sensitize Lagosians, adding that by 9 in the morning on Monday, access to Adekunle section inward Lagos Island will be closed to traffic.
For emphasis sake, we're saying that if you're coming from Lagos Ibadan, coming from Obudu, coming from toll gates, and you're going to Adekunle and you want to use Third Mainland Bridge, by tomorrow 9 a.m. you will not be able to do that. So you have to use the alternatives that have been provided, like Ojota and Bagada.
She says the comprehensive repairs will be all encompassing, and at the end of the exercise, the bridge will look brand new.
A new asphalt will be overlaid, defective expansion joints will be replaced. There will be solar lights everywhere at the parapet and at the median. There will be parapet wall. It will be painted.
She urged members of the public to cooperate with government to ensure speedy completion. More sensitization across all media platforms will be rolled out to ensure more road users are well informed ahead of the closure. In Lagos,
Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide will continue with Bill Kisu in our Just Network Center after this time out. To stay with us.
Let's move to security matters. The air and land components of Operation Hadarin Daji in the northwest and Operation Hardin Kai in the northeast of Nigeria with other security agencies have conducted operations in Kankara local government area of Katsina State, targeting the hideout of notorious terrorist kingpin Barbaro, implicated in numerous acts of terrorism and banditry across Kankara and adjacent local government areas in Katsina State. The terrorist was involved in the massacre of more than 100 residents of Gidangari and villages in Bakuri local government area on February 2, 2023. The airstrikes destroyed Barbaro's hideout and eliminated several terrorists, though there is no confirmation if Barbaro was amongst those neutralized. Airstrikes were also carried out at the enclave of terrorist kingpin known as Mesola in Maru local government area of Zamfara State. Destroying his hideout, there is also no confirmation if Mesola was amongst the terrorists eliminated. Precision airstrikes by a component of Operation Hardin Kai also led to the elimination of several terrorists within the Mandara Mountains and Goza local government area of Borno State. Still on security, the need for gender responsiveness in the Niger Police Force and the implementation of community policing as strategies in Nigeria was brought to the fore at a just concluded conference for senior police officers in Owerri, Imo State. Francis From reports that about 132 senior police officers attended the conference.
The Nigeria Police Force, being the lead agency in internal security, is tasked with the responsibility of safeguarding lives and property in the various communities. Gender experts at the conference said the need for gender approach in the force became imperative.
My presentation tried to, emphasize the need for gender mainstreaming because that will enhance effectiveness when it comes to security response, issues of gender-based violence, issues of women representation in the security sector.
One of the key components of community policing is trust, which is very valuable for us to have effective community. And of course, it also leads to efficiency in policing.
Participants shared their experience while making valuable contributions during the discussion session. Senior officers and stakeholders from the law enforcement agencies came under one roof to discuss issues that are shaping the nation's security with a view to charting a way forward towards reforming the security architecture. This is the 4th annual conference of senior police officers of the force and the first under IGP Egbetokun. Francis from NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Jigawa Police Command is still calling for information following the attack by gunmen on the residence of the chairman Kiyawa local government area of the state, Nasir Hamid Kiyawa. Residents said the gunmen attacked the town around 8 p.m. on Friday, shooting indiscriminately and subsequently abducting the 2 wives of the chairman at their residence. The police spokesperson in Jigawa, Lawan Ahmed Adam, confirming the incident, said security operatives have been dispatched around the local government area to find and rescue the women, but still appealed for information that would aid their rescue. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has convened a national policy dialogue on living wage and corruption in Nigeria to enrich the policy brief, which will guide policy responses to national issues arising from poor and inadequate living wages in Nigeria. Chairman of the Commission says the conversation is to identify corruption risks associated with inadequate living wages in the country. Tokpe Alabi reports.
The national minimum wage of 30,000 naira, legislated into operation by the National Minimum Wage Act 2019, will be due on the 17th April 2024, barely 6 months from now. Conversations from this national dialogue convened by ICPC is to elicit contributions from stakeholders into the complex relationship between wages, well-being and corruption in Nigeria.
I wish to say that the importance of a dialogue such as this cannot be overemphasized because the task of reducing corruption has been one major challenge facing government.
The government truly reflects in ensuring that the public service is well remunerated. And we're very happy that this exactly is what the current government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing.
Let's not over-fixate ourselves on cash rewards. Living wages should be more than cash. It should include conditions of service. It should also include external factors that will impact on whatever you're getting.
Discussants believe there is a direct relationship between poor living wages and corruption, which then indicates that low wages can make the workforce to be susceptible to corruption.
A lifestyle depends on cost of living, income, and pattern of expenditure. Wages, salary required, period adjustment.
For us to make Nigerian worker very articulate and productive, the living wage is very important.
Wages is pivotal to workers' rights. Workers' right for us principally is about decent work.
Our expectation is that we are going to have informed proposals from stakeholders across the different spectrum.
This dialogue is coming up with ideas, practical steps and recommendations that will enable government develop a balanced and applicable wage bill policy for the country. In Abuja, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
And our next stop is Jos, where Bilkisu is standing by.
Jos. Director General Industrial Training Fund, Dr. Afiz Ogun Oluwatoyin, says the fund will impact on Nigeria's economy through training and retraining of its workforce and creation of employment opportunities. He stated this in Jos while addressing the staff of the fund. Ijoma Ozemena has details.
Speaking on his mandate, the Director General assures of his readiness to utilize opportunities and resources therein to take the fund to greater heights in human capacity development for sustainable development of the country. To achieve this, he says, staff of the organization must put in their creative ability and work assiduously for the growth of ITF and the country.
Our mission under this leadership, we are going to expand, assess both locally and internationally to unique resources and internal competencies, become a catalyst for national growth, and introduce ourselves to the Nigerian people who are not aware yet.
The Director Technical Vocational Skills Development, James Abimbola, pledges the commitment of staff to give maximum support as it takes the organization to greater heights. Some of the senior directors affirm that the fund is a bonded and united family. As such, they look forward to a more vibrant human capacity development of the fund. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
Traditional and community leaders in Plateau State say they have joined stakeholders working towards reducing violence against women to enable them realize their potentials and contribute meaningfully to nation building. This was at a capacity building training organized for them by stakeholders on violence against women in Jos. The report. The issue of gender-based violence has been on the front burner owing to the increasing number of cases recorded daily. For the participants, the training has broadened their knowledge on these issues, and they will ensure it is stepped down to change the narrative.
Woman folk is mostly affected than the male folk. I think if this thing will continue, in fact, it will reduce some of these lapses that we have taken it as cultural, religious bias.
If we go back to our various communities now, we try to enlighten them, let them know that women are very important.
This training also intends to equip traditional and community stakeholders on how to adopt various interventions aimed at addressing the various forms of violence experienced by women from their communities.
As custodians of the people's culture,
Traditional leaders play a pivotal role and serve as an entry point that can be leveraged to transform traditional norms. Therefore, it has become imperative to conduct this training.
We want to have the traditional leaders own and push the process of the change that we are seeking, the change on issues of violence against women.
Facilitators say violence against women is a serious violation of their human rights, which are carried out through limited health and reproductive rights, economic and social welfare, inheritance and property rights, among others. The participants were divided into groups to come up with workable solutions and suggestions. Vision from Jos, Abubakar is standing by in Maiduguri for the continuation of Nationwide.
Procurement of contract, partnership, promotion, publication, manufacturing, STBS, start times, lectures, ICT and training, production and sales, TV expos, events, local and international roadshows, exhibition, both local and international. We are at Area 11 Garikia, Abuja, opposite Abuja Geographical Information System, AGES, or visit our website www.ntatve.com.ng and our social media platforms, Twitter at NTA TV Enterprise, Facebook, NTA TV Enterprise, Instagram at NTA TV Enterprise, and these numbers on 070-3502-6056, 090-19557180.
We are Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. We are political parties. We are the pathway to political power. IPAC, in line with its core mandate, is carrying out peer review mechanism for elected political office holders. Performance of the President of Nigeria, state governors, state and national assembly members will be assessed comparatively. This will trigger healthy competition amongst our elected politicians to deliver dividends of democracy like good roads, good healthcare delivery system, good schools, full employment, security, and so on. This prestigious program will soon be shown live on television stations across Nigeria. IPAC, deepening and consolidating democracy.
Will you shut up? All the victims taken are allowed to call their families.
Crime Fighters. Returning to the network services of NTA as Crime Fighters. Crime Fighters, every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Crime Fighters, coming to you since 2000. You cannot afford to miss this.
Joining us nationwide will now continue from Maiduguri. As the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, continues to leverage on purposeful partnership in the delivery of its mandate of development interventions, more development partners have been showing up at the Maiduguri headquarters of the Commission to strategize on ways forward. Fatima Isa will now bring us the rest of the story.
These public address systems were procured in partnership with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, and were distributed to each of the 27 local government areas of the state in response to earlier demand by the Forum of the Information Officers. In addition to that, the Commission is working on establishing a radio and internet facility in each of the council areas for efficient communication between the government and the people. The State Commissioner of Information, Professor Usman Tar, described the interventions of NEDC as hope riser for better tomorrow. Meanwhile, the management of the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Maiduguri, led by the hospital's medical director, Professor Ibrahim Wakawa, was at the Northeast Development Commission to say thank you. A 500 kVA generator, an ultrasound scan machine, a well-equipped ambulance, hospital beds, and essential consumables were enumerated as some of the recent interventions of the Commission in the hospital. Likewise, the NEDC received in audience International Humanitarian Award winner and founder of Future Prowess, Zanna Mustafa, whose school has excelled in restoring hope to children orphaned by insurgents. The management of Yobe State University and Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, Northeast Branch, were also at NEDC, where bilateral agreements was reached on enhancing educational facilities, transparency, accountability, and good governance. In Maiduguri, Fatima Isa, NTA News.
Away from activities that have to do with the NEDC, now to tell you that stakeholders in Borno State have advocated for an all-inclusive 2024 budget centered on creating opportunities for effective public participation in budget processes to ensure accountability, improved monitoring, and transparency. This came to the fore during a budget town hall meeting organized by Center for Advocacy, Transparency and Accountability Initiative, Qatar, held at International Conference Hall, Musa Usman Secretariat, Maiduguri. Here is Tina Toro with more on the report.
Meeting drew participants from ministries, departments and agencies to discuss social accountability in ensuring that young people, especially young women in marginalized communities, are given top priority to enable them live a dignified, secured and resilient lives.
Women inclusion, adolescent girls inclusion in monitoring, tracking of budget, for them to know what it means by budget and what it's supposed to be.
45 billion naira worth of projects by defaulting contractors were compelled back to site.
Because it is at this time, within these 2 weeks, that we're able to finalize our budget for 2024. So getting your inputs at this time will go a long way to helping reach our budget.
Executive Director Katai, Abubakar Sadiq Muazu, representative of Action Aid and other speakers gave an overview of the project brought about by government's budget policies and implementation and pledged to closely engage in accountability processes throughout the budget cycle.
We are here just to engage with key stakeholders as it has to do with the aspiration, belief and demands and needs of young people.
To ensure that young people, especially young women in marginalized community, live dignified, secure, and are closely engaged in accountability processes by government.
In Maiduguri, Tina Toro, NTA News.
You're on to Nationwide on the Nigerian Television Authority. Let us at this point return to Elizabeth in Abuja for other trending issues this evening.
Thank you so much. The House of Representatives Committee on Host Communities is calling on the Central Bank of Nigeria to, as a matter of urgency, release to host communities the approved 27.6 billion naira estimated funds generated from gas flaring penalties in compliance with the Petroleum Industry Act. This was during a hearing with some of the traditional rulers from the affected communities. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
The issue of gas flaring has been a source of concern to the people of the Niger Delta region as it affects their livelihood. Successive administrations have made concerted efforts to assessing the impact and support the affected areas with funds generated from the gas flaring penalties. This hearing is a first interface between the committee and the host communities. They resolve to work closely in the interest of the region and triumph over issues relating to the rights as approved by the federal government.
In addition to the administration of the PIA, there are some referrals pending before the committee in favor of the host community. We are of the belief that this and more set a base for the common good of the host communities.
A week before Buhari left office, we met with him. I have the picture, everything here I'm going to submit. And he asked Malami to approve something. He set up a committee. 27.6 billion was approved a week before Buhari left office. And I'm happy that this committee capitalized on that.
If gas flare, Nigeria staying, will be there, we'll all die. Our children will come up. We're not delaying.
Worried by the leadership tussle of the host communities on how to yield a better result to the social justice cause, the committee resolves to embark on a fact-finding visit to ascertain areas genuinely affected by the problem. From the National Assembly, Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
An affiliate of the National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, NISRA, and the Used Tires Producers Responsibility Organization of Nigeria have extended hands of partnerships to the Abuja Environmental Protection Board, AEPB. This is to ensure proper management of end-of-life tires, which includes collection, disposal, and recycling for sustainable management of the environment.
This program actually has relationships with recyclers, collectors, and these are people that we are licensing to be able to go out there and collect these tires and then be able to have a standard way to dispose them and or to deliver them to the recycling companies. And you can see now there's a lot of new companies coming up now who are involved in recycling of tires, which now is turned into diesel fuel, into asphalt, crumbs for making belts, tire, green grasses and belts and bags and so many different things, asphalt. So there's so many multiple use of it, which is addressing the issue of circular economy.
While acknowledging the huge amount of the end-of-life tires lying at its dump site, the AEPB says it is open to partnerships to find effective ways of collecting and recycling them for job and wealth creation.
Our sewer line, a number of times we see blockages and tires that we are struggling with. So the effective collection of these used tires will aid sustainability and effective waste management in the city. Eventually, we'll have a cleaner city.
The meeting also discussed programs ahead of the National Tire Safety Week. Nigeria is set to host the maiden Commonwealth High Commissioners Banquet in Abuja. Nigeria is taking center stage to, among other things, showcase opportunities for trade and investment, strengthen economic diplomacy, as well as cordial relationship among member states.
It is designed to enhance the trade facilitation investment promotion between Nigeria and the major Commonwealth countries at ensuring economic development in line with the economic diplomacy initiative of Federal Government of Nigeria and President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
We will provide all the enabling environment, we will provide all the support. Already we will mobilize all the Commonwealth missions that are present in Abuja.
I believe the Commonwealth Banquet, which is expected to hold before the end of the year, could not come at a better time than now, when Nigeria is working to strengthen its economy, hence the huge potential that abound.
We need foreign investment that will profile and make the economy grow. As you know, the 8-point agenda of Mr. President, and we want to key in, collaborate so that we can renew our hope.
The banquet will be hosted by a Royal Commonwealth Society, a network of individuals and organizations committed to improving the lives and prospects of citizens across the world. Believing in the uniqueness of Almighty God and adhering strictly to the doctrines of the Holy Scriptures are prerequisites that guarantee meaningful lives and key to the paradise. These were the submissions of guest lecturers at the 10th annual Usman Danfodio lecture held in Ilorin, Kwara State. Shola Waid reports.
Speaking on the topic, the concept of God in major world religions, the guest lecturer, Dr. Zakir Abdul Karim Naik, explained that only the one God who had no image was worthy of worship and praises. Muslims, according to him, prefer to refer to Allah as the creator, the greatest, the beneficent and the merciful, because nothing can be associated with his supremacy.
The moment God does injustice, he says it to be God. So Almighty God cannot do injustice. Almighty God cannot make a mistake.
Other lecturer at the event admonished the people to always abide by the commands of God for them to gain paradise. In their goodwill messages, Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak represented, and the Sultan of Sokoto described the event as all-encompassing that talks about the Quran, the Bible, and other holy books by bringing out their uniqueness and relevance for the benefits of mankind.
Be steadfast in our faith and believe in Allah as the only one God, imparting
knowledge, educating our people on what our forefathers did in strengthening Islam.
You remove Jesus Christ from the belief mechanism of Islam, you are no longer a Muslim. So this is to emphasize the accommodating principle and the universality message of Prophet Muhammad.
Sheikh Usman Danfodo Lecture is an annual event that enlightens both Muslims and non-Muslims to foster harmonious relationship in Nigeria. Shola Wahid, NTA News.
To mining, 44 different solid minerals, but less than 3% contribute to the nation's GDP. This is about to change as the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu presidency is bringing a ray of hope with a target of 50% GDP in the sector. What are some of the challenges that must be addressed if this target must be achieved, and efforts made so far by the man assigned with this responsibility, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake? Mie Ogidi takes a look at the journey to yesterday, today and tomorrow in the solid minerals sector.
Nigeria, a country with a landmass of approximately 923,768 square kilometers. Most of its surface is covered with an attractive green vegetation and rich brown earth, depicting nature's abundance. Yet, its true wealth lies beneath, an untapped treasure of almost limitless proportions. 44 solid mineral deposits from the bowls in the mountains in the north down to the swamps in the south.
Look at what's happening in the cement industry. Do we know how many people are employed in the cement industry? They're in their thousands, and they're using just one commodity, limestone and maybe gypsum and the clays.
The views of the professor are appealing, but its revenue not appealing at the nation's treasury. But there are institutional challenges.
There was lack of data, there was lack of infrastructure, there was no really capacity.
And why the sector not making huge revenue?
Mining has a long gestation period, but it's a bit precipitate to start talking about gains in this short term. But there are gains.
But when is the moment of gestation? Here is another era. Ministry of Mines and Steel Development unbundled. Solid Minerals Development and Steel Development. August 2023. Another historic moment. Dele Alake is the pioneer minister of Solid Minerals Development Ministry with renewed hope. Expectedly, he hit the ground running by addressing some foundational challenges. 30 days frontal warning to illegal miners to evacuate the mining environment, meetings with the Interior Minister to sanitize the sector of bandits, collaboration with the Federal Inland Revenue Service to improve revenue from the sector, visit to foreign partners on capacity building and to attract investors. Benefits started manifesting. Dele has dug the ground in Nasarawa State as foreign company sets up factory, but two major battles standing tall in the sector: exiting illegal miners and putting an end to the exportation of raw materials.
So we shouldn't allow our borders to be open wide, even for all these minerals to be carted away without the necessary documentation. And so it is not even a matter of whether the government should even give a long notice for that. Any issue, all this illegality in the sector must be addressed.
44 solid minerals nationwide, but contribution to GDP not even up to 3%. But Alaki's target is to equal revenue from the solid mineral sector with that of the oil and gas sector.
Every month, conservatively, they get about 40 kg of gold every month from illegal operations, shallow illegal operations, in just one of the fields, in one of the clusters, in Ilesha alone. That's about almost $300 to $400 million naira every month, and that's just from illegal artisanal operation.
As it stands tall, so the dreams. And to achieve this, all dormant licenses issued by the Mining Cadastre Office to be revoked. It is indeed a new dawn in the sector. Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
Thank you, Mir. Now, in line with the Chief of the Air Staff's directive that all officers and men of the Nigerian Air Force be fit and combat ready at all times, the 303 Medium Airlift Group Ilorin has held its annual 10 kilometers walk-jog exercise in Ilorin, Kwara State. Ahmed Fulani reports.
The Nigerian Air Force Year 2023 annual 10-kilometer walk and jog kicked off at the headquarters of NAV 303 Medium Airlift Group along Ajasheiko Road in Ilorin. The exercise is geared towards enhancing physical fitness as well as mental and combat readiness of the Nigerian Air Force personnel with a view to effectively responding to assigned tasks within short notice. The Commander 303 Medium Airlift Group of Nigerian Air Force Group Captain Dan Apiak vowed that his men would continue to ensure that Kwara was safe for all to live.
Our continuous air surveillance, as a continuous intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance exercise will continue to go on over the state. I have photo clips of the state and some other sites. And I assure you, sir, that we're going to do our best to make sure that Kwara is safe.
Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, represented by his Special Advisor on Security, appreciated all the security agencies in the state for making the state safe and peaceful.
His Excellency is ready and will continue to ensure that he provides logistics to the Nigerian Air Force and other security agencies operating in this state.
Certificates were presented to participants who emerged victorious in different categories of the exercise. Ahmed Fulani, NTA News.
And that report ends nationwide today. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good evening.